That is the great question, right? And Kimberly and I talk about this a lot because, by the standards of, the definitions of American society, we're wealthy. And, but I would suggest that by the standards of world society, all Americans are wealthy. So let's talk about that later if you'd like. But anyway, by the standards of American society, we're wealthy, which means that our children are going to grow up without understanding what it means to not be able to go out to eat whenever we want, or to not be able to pay the rent, or we have to move somewhere because we can't afford to live here anymore, or things like that, or even worse things. They're not going to experience those. So how do we teach them the life lessons and, more importantly, the resiliency to be able to withstand hard times whenever they're not experiencing hard times? And what I personally believe is two things, and I'm open to more ideas. One is showing them the real world, and that is not San Diego. The real world is just south of San Diego, in Tijuana, right? And we've been down there. We built some houses down there, and we've so on. And I see Tijuana, and I think of Southern Leyte. I think of driving through the streets of St. Bernard, and there are people living in shanties. There are people living where they've got these like rickety, wooden structures that are like 8 by 8 with a piece of tin on the top of it, and then a cloth for the door. Most of them that I saw were really happy. It was crazy. It was way more poverty than if someone on food stamps is like wealthy to them, right? It was way more poverty than I had ever experienced. But there wasn't despair there. There was joy. And that really struck me, right? And then in Mexico, right, you see people that are deformed because they don't have access to good medical care if you're in that part of society, the poor part of society. So showing them what the real world is like, and then showing them what hard work is like. And I mean hard work, right? I don't mean like you go down and you pound a few nails and then you take a picture and you put it on Instagram. I mean it's 13, 14 hours of constant work with no lunch break. I'll throw a piece of pizza up to you or a sandwich or something. Here's a bottle of water. Keep pounding, right? Real work where there's blisters on your hands at the end of it, right? And your shoulders are aching. And guess what? Tomorrow we get to get up at 5 and go back out and do it again. Right? Hard work. And the relentless sort of structure of gratefulness.